Hey guys, so I'm going to show you today how I've created a YouTube content strategist, and I'm pretty excited about this because there are a lot of different functions from this workflow which you can use in other workflows, and so hopefully this will be actually a really useful video just to see how you create such a thing. So just briefly, before I show you a demo, I've pulled in the YouTube videos and then put it into a database which an AI agent can call and base its output on this database. So on very specific information, you can have a tailored AI working for you. So just to show you what I mean, I'm going to execute the workflow like this. And this is pulling all the YouTube videos, uploading it into a Google Sheets, then pushing it into Pinecone, which is a vector store, which is a database where the AI can easily call data from. And then there is a chat message ability where I can ask the AI agent, for example, can you summarize the theme of my YouTube channel? And it will call into this database, find the necessary, or find context, let me say, and then come up with a reasonable response. So if we look at this, it says the theme of YouTube channel revolves around automation and AI tutorials, primarily using the n8n platform, etc., etc. Automation workflows, AI integration, educational content. And this is, I mean, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. So this is pretty cool. And we can go even further, like, I don't know, can you give me some recommendations on what content I should do next? What kind of video it should be? And then using this context and also the history of the chat, it will give me the answer to this. So I think it's really cool. It will give you basically a personalized ChatGPT model for yourself and using the data that you give it. So this is why I think it's useful. And I'll wait until this. Yeah, so here we go. So some tutorial ideas. Personalized AI sales outreach, chatbot creation, additional content types, series idea, building no-code automations, AI applications, everyday tasks. So I mean, this is like something I can bounce ideas off with context. So to start with, this whole workflow is going to be on my school community. So it will be easiest if you go to the school community. It's completely free, and you can download this workflow as a JSON and then put it into your n8n cloud server. So the way you do it is when you download the JSON, all you need to do is import from file, and you select that file that you've just downloaded, which is a JSON. And now I'll get straight into the details. So the first part of this workflow is, firstly, this workflow can probably be put into two different workflows. I've put it all into one just so all the information is here for you guys and it's easier to use. But the first part of the workflow we're going to go into here. We have a manual trigger, and then we scrape YouTube. So I will do another video on this, but specifically YouTube, but you need to connect your Google credentials, which is very easy to do. There's a video that I've already done on this. And once you've created the credentials and enabled the API in your project, then you can access this YouTube node. And so we're going to start with getting a video resource and the operation of get many. And this is the channel ID. So if I was to find the channel instead, it would only give me the details of my channel. So it will give me like the description, it will give me how many videos I have. It won't actually give me the details of each video. So we do video get many, limit to this, and then I think I'll I accidentally missed that, but channel ID. So this channel ID is actually, if you come to your YouTube or a YouTube, any channel, and you click share channel, you can copy channel ID. So you copy this, come here and put it into that. And immediately it will execute this and it will pull all the videos. And so there are 21 here. And I can see that there are also 21 videos here. So this has pulled all the videos and all the data from the videos. Specifically, we have here a YouTube video ID. This is the most important thing, and this will be important in the next node. So other than that, we have some description and thumbnails, some other bits of information. Now the description is in fact the caption, but this caption stops here. So whenever so for example, my last credential setup video, we can see that it's a lot larger than this. However, this is a different video, but anyway, the description is only limited to that. So the next node is about getting more data on each of the videos. So what we do is we put in this video ID. So firstly, your resource will be video, and then you have operation get. So rather than get many, which was the last one, we just have a get. And so it will take the specific video. And we want to input the video ID. And this video ID can just be pulled directly from here. And that can just be pulled like this. And we want to get all the fields. So when we execute this step, it pulls in all the fields of each of the 21 items that I have. So this will be the description, which is now fully completed description rather than it being truncated. And you can see all of this, like these are all the captions that I have. And then other details, like the duration, I think it has, view count, number of likes, etc., etc. So you have a whole load of different things here. I want to collate this information into a specific Google Sheets. So if I take you to the Google Sheets, I have created 5 columns. So I want the title, I want the video URL, the caption, the date that I posted it, and then the type. So there are shorts and there is long form video. So with this, once I have all that information, I use a Google Sheets node and I select sheet within document, update, append or update row, and I pick the correct sheet from my library. And then I've done map each column manually, and the column to match on I've used as date. So this is in fact the date of publish. So there will only ever be, that will be a unique date and time. And that is the reason I use this to match, because if it needs to match, there won't be any duplication here. And so for this date using to match or date publish, I pull this in from here and pull that there. Then the title I pull in from here. The video URL, so the only bit of information that we actually have is the video ID. But this video ID is always, so if you come to this video, it's always this part of the URL. So if you just actually copied this, and that's exactly what I've done. I've copied it here and then added on this JSON ID at the end. And this will pull into my Google Sheets. And finally, the caption is obvious. It's just like this. And the last thing is the type. So this is slightly more complex because the type, I wanted to differentiate between short and long form video. Now, the way I did this, full transparency, I of course used ChatGPT to create me a bit of logic which will decide whether a video is a short video or a long video. If you download this workflow, this will all automatically be there for you anyway, so you don't need to worry about it. But basically the logic here is, so the length of video, you can actually see, if I find it, is here, the duration. And this specific duration, for example, is 20 seconds. And what I've told ChatGPT to give me is whenever it is above 2 minutes, label it as a long video, so it's 120 seconds, else label it as short. So this is essentially the logic behind it, and it gives me just, you can even see this answer, how this logic is going to give as short. So this specific item is going to be a short one. Then I click execute. So in fact, I'll just show you, like, I have all this, but I'll just delete this. And then when I execute this step, this will all be filled back in. So I have type on the right, short, long, short video, etc., and all the other information. And if just to prove, we click on one of these, you can see that this is a real YouTube link. Can you summarize? And this is one of my short videos. So that is that. Now, this whole the first workflow is about pushing the data, the YouTube data, into Pinecone Vector Store, which is where the AI is going to refer to whenever it needs to give me an answer. And in order to do that, I've messed around a lot with this. And for some reason, with a JSON file type, it has a real problem. Pinecone has a real problem with understanding what the actual input should be. So what I've done here in this function node, I have turned the caption. So to start with, the only bit of information that I wanted to keep was caption, because I know, for example, for my videos, all the details are in the caption of what the video is. I didn't need to transcribe the whole YouTube video for it. But I needed to turn this caption into a binary file so that I can feed it into Pinecone. And that is exactly what this bit of code does. Again, I've asked ChatGPT for this code, but if you have the JSON workflow copied from the school community, you will have this already. And when I execute this step, so at the moment I'm pulling in from all the Google Sheets. When I execute this step, it will give me 21 items, all with the file name of data in binary, and of my caption. Okay. So here you can see caption. This is the bit that is putting it into the text field. So once this is in binary, I come into Pinecone Vector Store. And to start with, Pinecone, you need to go to Pinecone itself and set up an account if you haven't already. And when you're here, you come to index, and you can create index right here, okay? And this is what I did with n8n's YouTube content. I have other indices here. But when you're creating the index, once you've entered the name, all you need to do is choose your configuration. For my configuration, I did text embedding 3 small. This is, as you can see, the most cost-effective OpenAI model. You can choose a larger one if you want, but for this purpose, I found this is fine. And then the last thing I did when I select this, I changed the dimensions to 1536. And this is just from historic knowledge of using this. I know that n8n sends the information in the dimension 1536, and it needs to equate to the same on this side. And then, I mean, this can all stay the same, and you just create the index. So that's exactly how I did it. And once you're in this index, that's to start with, this is all you need. So once you have this, you can select your created index from the list. You want the operation mode to be insert documents because we're sending information to this vector store. And I've done options to clear namespace. So every time this is run, I want to completely clear the vector store so that it's uploaded with up-to-date information. So there is a choice to be made. I can keep the namespace. keep the data in there and just keep adding onto it every time I select it. However, the way I've set this workflow up is that it will take all of the YouTube videos and then send it. So it will keep, if I were to not to do this, it will duplicate a lot. And then the Pinecone namespace, you just choose your whichever name you want to give it. I've said YouTube information. And when you execute this step, I wonder if I just can, yeah, if I delete this, we can see how it works. YouTube information. And so just to show you that how it actually works, this is what would happen if you've just created the index. And I'm going to execute this step, and we will see that, in fact, it will come through here at some point. A refresh, YouTube information, and the records are 21. So that's a quick example, but there are other parts of this configuration. So once I've done this, I have to add an embeddings OpenAI, and you have to make sure, so that model I showed of 3 small, you have to make sure that this model is the same. Otherwise, there will become issues with uploading the information. And then on the document, you want default data loader. And the type of data that I'm uploading is binary data because I've converted it into binary files. And I want to load all input data, automatically detect by MIME type. This is fine. And then I've done custom splitting here, text custom splitting. Now, the reason I've done this is so that I can upload metadata information as well. So that includes the title, the type, and I could also include the date if I wanted to, which I have done here. And that is it. So in each of, if we come over here, we can see that the type is here in the metadata, the title and the date. So this is all information that I can use to filter later on if I want to. And finally, we have a text splitter, which is just chunk size 1,200. This is a very standard way. And what it is essentially doing is it's putting the information into the vector store in chunks. But when there's an overlap, it makes it a little bit more human, I guess, by putting the data into the vector store. If you put this as 0, it will just cut off after the 1,000 characters is complete, or 1,000 tokens, let me say. And so that is the first part, and that is about uploading the information into the vector store. So that's completely done now. And now is actually the easy part. We just need to connect our AI agent to this vector store and use it as a database to answer. So we put another trigger node, which is when chat message received. We have our AI agent connected to the chat trigger and a system message. This is something, again, when you download it from the community workflow, you will have this ready. But I've basically told it, my aim is to have it as a YouTube content strategy assistant, and I've given it certain rules and the reason to refer to Pinecone Vector Store. So I've told it that it has all of the data and it needs to refer to it. Always query for these kind of information. Never guess or hallucinate. And when you answer, be concise. Long story short. Then, of course, I've connected a chat GPT model, a GPT-4o mini. And I've added a simple memory. I've just put context window length 8. In case I'm having a conversation, I just wanted to remember the last 8 messages. And finally, in the tool section, you want to connect the Pinecone Vector Store tool. And connect up to it, retrieve documents as tool for AI agent. And then I've put in the description, why you should refer to Pinecone. So again, this is part of it is in the prompt of the system prompt of the AI agent, but there's an option to put it here. So I've just said refer to Pinecone vector store to retrieve relevant information on YouTube content, which has already been posted to use for inspiration and not copy. And then pick that index from your list and limit it to whichever number you want to choose. So at the moment, we have 21 results. I've just limited it to 10 here, but actually 21 because there are 21 items, and you can choose how many you want to limit it to. Finally, I've said include metadata, and I found that if you don't put your Pinecone namespace in, it will automatically default to a different namespace, and you will have issues with retrieving information from it. So when putting it in, make sure you copy this or copy the namespace, which you've decided to write here, and put it as an option. And that is it. So you have to, of course, connect an embedding, make sure the model is coherent. There's 3 small, but that is it. So that is the whole workflow. And yeah, I hope this was useful. I hope this was interesting, and please download the workflow so you don't have to go through the pain of setting it up from scratch. But let me know in the comments if you have any comments.